trip.
Thank you. 30th of October, Rabbi Levitt, Nefesh Hahaim.
Okay, so we just mentioned over here, the Nefesh Hachaim says, after all is said and done, we learned this Gemara here about the Krubim, L'chora Kati Tikshe, Lamahem Midum Tchila, Krube Shloimo, Penehem Mitzudadim. Below Ish Elachiv, Mamash. Oh, thank you very much. I got a drink.
Fancy one.
A fancy drink I got. This is a very fancy drink. Look at the color of this drink.
Oh. It's like a smoothie.
Yeah. Baruch Ato Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam She'akol Yebed Boroi.
Amen.
What does it taste like?
Wow. It tastes like, I think it's made out of blueberries, frozen blueberries.
Wow. It tastes as good as it looks.
Yeah, it's good.
Blueberry drinks are.
Okay, so the question is, we understand the opinion that says that they were facing directly one another. That's easy to understand because that shows the chavivus, the endearment, and the ava, and the kirva between Hakadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael, and that will undoubtedly create in Klal Yisrael a ruach of ava towards Hashem, and they'll be inspired to do the Ratzon Hashem. So that doesn't really need any explanation. All we needed to do was explain how it accords with the other pasuk, which says that they're not facing one another. So we said that because this positioning, which originally was positioned in, was just for that reason, to show the closeness between Klal Yisrael and the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and as far as the other pasuk goes, it says that they're facing the Heichal, so that's talking when Klal Yisrael is not doing the Ratzon Hashem. Okay, so that's understandable now why it is that the original positioning was in the positive way. But according to the other opinion, we're not doing the original positioning in that way when they're facing directly towards one another. And even if we say that they're partially facing one another, they're only partially facing one another, but the other partial half of them is facing the Heichal. So Reb Chaim wants to know why it is that according to that Manda Omar, the Kruvim are have to be in that way. Why can't, in other words, he must be asking why should this Manda Omar say that that's the way they're originally designed to be positioned. The other way would seem to be the most encouraging and optimistic and inspiring way for the Kruvim to be positioned. So we want to know what's the thinking behind this Manda Omer. And with that, we're going to start. Oh, and we did read this actually, yeah. So that's the question. We have, so if we know the question, we understand the question, So then we have a chance to be able to appreciate what the answer is that Reb Chaim is going to give to that question over here. Okay, so let's read this again from the Ha'inyan. Okay, and who would like to start the reading? Lou, would you like to start?
Inyan hu hamo sha'amru herek ketzad mivarachim. And the idea is, as it is stated in Perech Ketzad Hamivarchim, is that's a
Name of a pair.
Perech? Good. Okay.
That's the I think that's the yeah. Don't remember which parak it is. It's in Maseches Brachos.
Yeah, it's my footnote says Brachos 35b.
Yeah, I think it's the third parak, but I might be wrong. It might be the sixth. I don't remember right now.
Okay. Tanu Rabbanan Va'asafta diganecha kule. The rabbis taught, and you will gather in your grain, etc. Lefish and Amar, according with that to that which is said, Lo Yamush Sefer HaTorah Hazeh Mi Picha Yachol Divarim Kich Tavan. This book of the Torah, so you shall not move from your mouth. I might have thought that these words are literal.
Right?
Ruben, do you have any money? But how come I had 300 and now I have 150?
Ahmed Lomar,
I paid for my mother's taxi.
Basafta Digenecha. The Torah teaches you shall gather in your grain. Hanheg bahen min hag derech eretz This teaches that one should deal with them in accordance with the way of the world.
Anheg bahen.
I'm a little bit lost at this point.
Okay, so this Gemara in Brachos, there's a Gemara, like you said, Lamed Hey Amid Beis, and this is the famous machlokes between Rabbi Yochanan, not Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Yishmael over the should one only apply himself to Torah learning alone, or should one also has to engage in derech eretz? He has to engage in some form of material support in addition to his Esek HaTorah. So over here, the first thing the Brisa says is Vasapta de Gonecha. This is the pasuk that we say in Krishma, and you'll gather in your grain. So that means that you got to be doing some work. It says you're going to gather in your grain. And then the Brisa says But since it says pasuk, I believe it's in Yoshua. Lo Yemush Sefer HaTorah Hazeh Mipicha. The Sefer Torah, the words of the Sefer Torah, should not be removed from your mouth. So Yochol Dvarim Kiksaban, I might have thought to say that these words are to be taken on face value, that you always have to be engaged in the learning of Torah. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you have to do. If so, so then that's what you have to do. But the pasuk says that you have to gather in your grain. So on that, the Brisa says, Talmud Loimar, this pasuk, Vasavta de Ganecha, comes to teach you that no, you don't. It doesn't mean this pasuk in Lo Yemush Sefer Torah Hazeh Mipicha doesn't mean that you shouldn't engage in any other occupation other than learning Torah. It means that Hanheg behen minig derech eretz. You have to conduct yourself in a way of the way that the people of the land conduct themselves as well. What do? They work for a parnasa, and so you also have it's either it's a mitzvah or it's a permission to engage in parnasa, but you'll apply yourself to the learning of Torah as much as you possibly can. That's what it means in the pasuk that the Sefer Torah shouldn't be removed from your mouth, like it says in Yeshua. You have to do a balancing act. So that's the opinion of Divrei Rebbe Yishmael.
Perhaps it could also mean that while you're doing work, you should think of it as fulfilling Torah and think of it in a Torah-dika manner, everything that you're doing.
Okay.
That way you'll have the Torah in front of you all the time.
Okay. Beseder. But the main point over here is that this is how we have a seeming contradiction over here between these psukim. On the one hand, one pasuk says that the Sefer Torah should not be removed from your mouth. On the other hand, it says that you'll gather in your grain. So the question is, how are these two psukim resolved? So this is what Rabbi Yishmael says, that you will conduct yourself with in a way of derech eretz, and that's what you will do. Anheg behen minhag derech eretz. That's also included in your schedule.
But aren't we also commanded to work? Doesn't it say you shall work for 6 days and rest on the seventh?
Well, that is a reshus.
Reshus.
You have a reshus to work during the 6 days. On Shabbos, though, you have no reshus.
You have to rest.
Reshus means what? Obligation.
Permission.
Reshus, you have a permission.
Okay.
Have to see. There may be other interpretations of that pasuk as well, but what's another? Yeah. I mean, Okay. Okay, now we go to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. Roy, you want to read Rav Shimon Bar Yochai? You have the words in front of you?
I've got the English part here. Oh, yes. Yes, I've got it. Resh B.
Oh, that's what that is. Rashbi.
Rashbi. That's Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Omer says, Efsher Adam Chayresh Vashai Charisha Torah Ma Tehei Alaya. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai says, is it possible that a person plows at the time of plowing? Then what would become of the Torah? Ela, rather, Bezaman Sheyis Rael, at that time when Israel Osin Ratzona Shel Makom Milachto Naaseh Al Yadai Acharim, and so on, that God's will perform at that time when Israel performs God's will, their work is done by others. Uvizaman she'ein Yisrael Elsin Ratzono Shel Mekom Melachton Naases Al Yedei Atzmon Shene'emar V'hosafto Digonecha. And at the time that Israel does not perform God's will, they have to do their work themselves, as it says, and you shall gather in your grain. So that was for the time when we're not behaving ourselves. And we're going against God's will, not doing it anymore.
Okay, so Rav Shimon Bar Yochai is saying that he's also mentioning the Klal Yisrael doing the Ratzon Hashem and Klal Yisrael not doing the Ratzon Hashem. Then the situation is like this. Then the situation is when they're doing the Ratzon Hashem, so there will be no need for this pasuk of Sapta de Ganecha. The malacha will be done by others. Sapta de Ganecha is referring to the Jew doing the malacha of doing the reaping. And of course, if he's going to do the reaping, I assume he's going to be doing everything that leads up to it as well. And so Rav Shimon Bar Yochai says, if so, then what will be with the Torah? Who they'll be quite busy doing with their tavua. So therefore, he says that if Klal Yisrael does the Ratzon Hashem, so then they won't need to engage in malacha. It'll be done by others. They'll be able to be sustained by others. Only bisman she'ein osin ratzon Hashem makom, then they won't be able to avail themselves of that. That's when the pasuk is saying. That's when the pasuk is saying asapta deganach. Okay, so that's the shita of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. That's how he explains the pasuk. Asapta deganecha is talking about when Klal Yisrael is not doing the Ratzon Hashem. But if they're doing the Ratzon Hashem, so then this pasuk is inoperable. Then they're going to be They're going to be freed of the yoke of Parnasa. So on that, Reb Chaim asks a question. L'chora temua. Who did Mayor? Did you read yet? No.
No, I didn't.
L'chora temua.
Okay. Ukaora tamua. The muki likra. Div asafta diganecha. Kishe'ein osin ritzono shel makom. V'ha le'el minei ketiv v'haya im shemoa tishmel mitzvotai v'gomer li'avat v'gomer v'la'avdo b'chol levavchem v'gomer v'ala ka'amar Safta diganecha. Those are all pesukim in the Shema, I think.
Yes, if you take a look at the second paragraph in the Shema, you got a sitter. There we go. This is the very beginning of the second paragraph of the Shema. It says, "V'haya im shemoa tishma'u el mitzvosai," and it will be that if or when you will listen to obey the mitzvahs, Asher anochi mitzav eschem hayom, that I'm commanding you today, la'avas Hashem Elokeichem, to love Hashem your God, ula'avdoi, and to serve Him b'chol levavchem u'chol nafshechem, to serve Him with your whole heart and your whole soul. If you do that, so then it says, "V'nasati mata artzachem b'ito," I will give you rain in your land. Yora umalkosh, in the proper time. One rain in the early autumn, one rain in the late spring. And then it says, our pasuk, that is the subject of our brisa. V'asafta deganecha, and you personally will harvest your grain, and not only your grain, and your wine and your oil. So this is the question that Reb Chaim is asking. The cheshbon, according to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, is as follows. He's understanding that this pasuk of Asafta deganecha is talking when Klal Yisrael is not doing the Ratzon Hashem. Therefore, in that case, they will not have the bracha of the parnasa, all these malachas being done by others, while they're able to engage in Torah and become proficient in Torah. So Reb Chaim says, well, it's very difficult. It would seem to be very difficult to say that this pasuk of Asafta deganecha is talking when Klal Yisrael is not doing the Ratzon Hashem, because if we look at the inside in the Chumash clearly prefaces that pasuk of Asafta deganecha with saying that it will be when you do listen to the mitzvahs of Hashem, and you love Hashem and you serve Him. How could we say that? And right after that pasuk is the pasuk of Asafta deganecha. So how can we possibly say that this pasuk of Asafta deganecha is talking about when Klal Yisrael is not doing the Ratzon Hashem? This is what we call a bombadika kasha.
A what?
A bombadick.
Bombadicker.
Was meant das?
A bomb, a heavy duty kasha. Something that lands on your head and explodes.
Knocks you over.
Right.
So, okay. So now Reb Chaim launches into his defense of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. He's going to explain Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Aval ha'inyan. But the matter is like this. Back to Lou.
Oh, okay. We're at what? V'lichora?
Aval ha'inyan.
Next one.
Aval ha'inyan. Thank you. Ki vadai she'ein das Rebbe Yishmael sheyehe ha-rishus nisuna la'adam lifrosh chas v'shalom af zman mu'at me'e sek haTorah. Okay, so but this matter, since it certainly is not the understanding of Rebbe Yishmael that it is permissible to separate oneself, heaven forbid, even for a small amount of time, from being involved in the Torah. V'la'asok b'farnasa vayiyeh batel oso ha'es me'esek haTorah legamre chas v'shalom, and to be involved in a livelihood which nullifies the Torah, ha'es, the time that he is involved in the Torah, completely chas v'shalom.
I've got here uninvolved. That he will be totally uninvolved with Torah. God forbid.
Right. Thank you. He'll nullify his involvement in Torah.
Yeah.
Amnam rimazo Rebbe Yishmael bilashono hakadosh haneheg bahen min hag derech eretz rotze lomar imahem im ha-divrei Torah. Okay, so but there's a hint by Rebbe Yishmael in this phraseology, in this holy phraseology. One should be accustomed with them according to the custom of the way of the world. That is to say, with them if they're words of Torah.
There's another few sentences before the completely finishing that section.
Oh, okay. Next page.
Yeah.
El Achiv.
Hainu Shagam.
Hainu. I don't see that. Next thing I have is El Achiv.
Elachiv.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I turned to the wrong page.
Mm-hmm.
I get backwards in this book. Hainu Shegam Ba'oso Ha'es Visha'a Mu'etes She'ata Osek Biparnasa Kidei Hatzorech V'ha'hechrach L'chayos Nefesh Al Kol Panim Birayonei Machshavtecha Tehei Miharher Rak B'divrei Torah. So it says, meaning that even while you engage in the minimum amount of work required to sustain yourself, at the very least, your thoughts should exclusively be focused on words of Torah.
Right. So before he comes to answer the kasha that he asked on the opinion of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, he goes into a further explanation and elucidation of the opinion of Rabbi Yishmael. We shouldn't think that what Rabbi Yishmael means when he says engage in derech eretz, it means like the way that the people of the land do. That's not what we mean when we say engage in the minhag of derech eretz, but rather he even makes he says it. What he said, that's what Rabbi Yishmael is saying in his words themselves. He said hanheg behen minhag derech eretz. If he just meant to say, well, you have to engage in derech eretz, he would have just said hanheg minhag derech eretz. What's the behen in that phrase? So on that behen, he's building this view of Rabbi Yishmael that the minhag of derech eretz has to be conducted behen, together with your asik haTorah. So that number one, he says your asik in parnasa is only as much as is necessary to support yourself, l'chayas nefesh, and secondly, don't overly work and neglect the study of Torah, which is your primary obligation. Your obligation to you work in order to sustain yourself l'chayas nefesh. That's number one. And other than that, you're learning Torah. And even when you are involved in the derech eretz, for that amount of time that you need in order to sustain yourself and support yourself, and you even during that time, your mind is not daydreaming as much as possible. Your mind is involved in the learning of Torah and the thinking about the words of Torah that you know. So like that, you are maintaining a connection to Torah really 24/7. That's what's coming out here from Shitas Rebbe Yishmael. Even during the time that you were involved in Parnasa, you're also simultaneously at that same time involved in words of Torah as well. Okay. And we got 6 minutes. Alan, how you doing there?
Trying to follow. Are you in gate gate 4 or still in 3?
We're in gate 1.
Gate 1, number what?
Yeah.
Gate 1, 4?
No, 8. Parak 8. Chet.
No, it's hard to follow from the book.
I know.
What book do you have?
Not on the book, it's on the computer.
Oh, well, that's difficult.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll try and get it this week.
have you got English on there as well as Ivrit?
Yeah.
Well,
So what exactly are you in?
well, if you can see,
Gate
just,
1, number 4?
so it's,
You're in chapter 5 yet or not yet?
no, we're not in chapter. This is chapter. This we're in 8, section 8, Perek 8, in chapter 4, in gateway, and in chapter 8, in the first gateway, and it's 1. I don't know if you can see clearly paragraphs there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 paragraphs, 6 major paragraphs, 7. It's where it's quoting the Shema. And you shall gather in your grain. Well, probably a bit before then. However, the idea is that Reb Yishmael certainly holds that a person has no permission to separate himself, God forbid, even momentarily, from Torah involvement. If you can find that paragraph, you'll be on the way.
No, I can't find it in the text.
A couple of paragraphs before that starts with the idea is as Chazal state. You may be able to pick that up with your eye. Oh well. Is this from? Oh, I don't know if I can
It's
help
gate 1, what chapter is it?
8. The title of the chapter is that man's action results in God's reaction. E.g., cherubim and livelihood. Cherubim and livelihood. Man's action results in God's reaction. That's the English title given by my Sefer.
Yeah, is it after gathering your grain?
Gathering grain is a section in there. Gathering grain, right. So what have you got? Read something out. As an example, what have you got?
In the verse, you shall gather in your grain is found in the context of the section. It starts.
Oh, I see. You've got our rabbis taught, and you shall gather in your grain.
Yeah, that's what we just did, the Shema.
Yeah, that is according to that which is said, this book of Torah shall not move from your mouth. Have you got that, Helen?
No, not right now.
Yeah, from Yoshua, I think.
Yeah. The idea is as Chazal state, our rabbis taught, and you shall gather in your grain. And that is according to which is said, this book of Torah shall not move from your mouth. And it says, then I might have thought that these words are literal. Therefore the verse, and you shall gather in your grain, teaches that one should deal with them according to the way of the world. These are the words of Rabbi Yishmael. You got something like that?
No, not right now.
All right. In any case, we're out of time, I think. Rabbi, you're muted.
Ashikoyik, everybody, for coming.
Okay, Yeshkaya.
Call it for today. Have a great day. Shem Yishmor Aleichem.
Amen.
Thank you,
so
Rabbi.
much.
B'tach B'Shem.
All right.
See you in a
See
few
you-
minutes.